Tell you what, I know I've been unwell with fibromyalgia for this week, but I didn't realise I looked this rough. Of course, it's for the Halloween and it's for the kiddie winks. As you can see, I'm putting together the Halloween trick-or-treater sweetie bucket with all of these wonderful treats. So if you want to stick around for some more tricks and treats, just keep an eye out for me after the... Hey, hey, it's me, Jo, from Jo's Sleep. Right, we do once more. Hey, hey, it's me, Jo, from Jo's Sleep and Slim Now Journey, and I'm really excited to be here. I'm getting better. We cannot deny. I am getting better. Oh my goodness, let me catch my breath. I think I need my inhaler. Okay. It's really good to be here. It is really good to be here. It's Halloween. And as I was singing earlier on, this town, we're coming at a ghost town. We're not coming on a ghost town. What we're doing is we're waiting for the young trick-or-treaters to come along, knock on my door and show me their costumes. So it's time of year I love every year. Even those times when I was housebound, well, especially the times that I was housebound, just to be able to see the young'uns of the street. And so, yes, I'm really looking forward to tonight. And if you was watching my live earlier, you'll see that I got some help with my face. So that was from L. Lewis, a.k.a. Makeup Maven Extraordinaire, a.k.a. 007. Yes, of course we know L. Lewis. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Speaking of lovely and wonderful, here's Miss Mary. Yeah, she's in a bigger grooming collar today because it turns out that she's more agile than I first thought. Maybe she's on the Meownjaro too. Mind you, not with all those cat treats that she'll be able to eat. But she's on the larger, she's back up here. She's on the larger grooming collar because she's still attempting to just overlook herself and making herself very sore. Speaking of somebody else who is not feeling so great today, you all know Tracey DD. You all know Tracey DD, my gorgeous neighbour. She's not feeling so great this week. Don't know what it is, whether it's seasonal, whether it's the weather's just really bad. It's cold here in the UK, cold and damp. Ugh. So yeah, we're going to be sending her some virtual sunshine. So we're going to send her some virtual Stardust. That's right, we're going to send her some virtual Stardust. Because you know Tracey DD is my little star. And so I want you all to, whether you pray, whether you meditate, whether you conjure up, manifest, whatever, I want you to send all your love and positive vibes to Tracey DD's way, and let's hope that she starts to feel better soon. As you know, I've been unwell as well. I've been really unwell with the fibromyalgia, as you know. And who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody this morning, Lisa. She'd watched my video from last week where I was explaining about the fibromyalgia. You know, the one where I was in bed and I was swearing. I know. But she was watching that this morning and she commented this morning and she explained that her fibromyalgia, although she's still on Z-bound and has lost a significant amount of weight, it's not got better. And she says it's probably down to the cold. Now, interestingly, last week I mentioned Nicole Ray, Louise Parker, Louise and Emma, our good friend Emma, who are also fibromyalgia sufferers, and they're also suffering last week as well. So maybe it is the cold. The only person that we know who isn't suffering is our gorgeous Simply Taisha. She was explaining that since she's been on Zepbound, she's not had a fibromyalgia flare-up, which is fabulous, fabulous. But of course, I'm still not quite as well as I should be. My fingers are still really quite swollen. I've got the worst pins and needles burning pain in this thigh right here. It feels like somebody has got a lighter and it's just lighting, setting my thigh on fire. Terrible. So some of you gave me some really good hints and tips about what medication you're on, and I'm going to be speaking to my doctor because Traveling Tea told us about a great medication that her mum uses. It's an injectable, and I'm going to speak to my doctor next week as if there's any chance that I could get some of that action. I'm happy about the injections. Now I do Mounjaro. I could inject myself with anything they wanted. Obviously, purely for medicinal purposes. So what else have we been doing this week? Well, we've had some great non-scale victories. The first one, of course, is that Brenda, our Miss Brenda, she's just started her channel, and Terence, Mr. Randomville, they've just started their channel as well. So they've got 2 new channels on the GLP-1 streets. Brenda's is a vlog. It's about life, about love, about learning. He's doing, at the moment, he's doing cooking. And if you watch his last video, he made a spicy pumpkin soup. It looked delicious. So that's one of my NSVs, welcoming 2 more members of the community onto YouTube as channel content creators. Another bit of news for me was, obviously, I went to the baby shower last week. I went to see my friend's baby, my best friend, Sean, and it was a baby shower, and I got dressed up. Can you remember? I got dressed up. I showed you the video. Those jeans are a size 20. Do you know this? This is a size 28. This is what I wore on the 2nd episode of Joe's Sleep and Slim Down Journey. So the fact that I'm now into size 20s, that's incredible, right? Come on, throw up some confetti. And then the other thing is that I've just found out today from Laurie at GLP-1 Journey in Review that my interview with her is going live on Wednesday next week. Now, this week, I know she's had Felicia Marie B. She was interviewed, and so was Dominic from my Mounjaro Diaries. Dominic, my male Caucasian twin, he's looking fabulous, I might add. Of course he's looking fabulous. He's lost loads more weight. I've lost a fair bit of weight. Remember, I put a video, was it on... Can't remember what day it was now. Was it Friday? I don't remember. It was this video here explaining that was it. Because I was waiting for Colin's replacement mask, which has arrived now, getting lots of lovely sleep, and Miss Mary is joining us at bedtime. I know, it's great, isn't it? Now I'm getting lots of lovely sleep. But the point was because I wasn't getting it last week, instead of putting my video out on the Friday, I put it out on the Wednesday. So I weighed myself on the Wednesday, and did I lose weight? Can't remember if I lost weight or not. The point was, then I stepped on the scales on Friday, and that's where that I hate you so much right now video came from. I put 4.5 pounds on since Wednesday, 2 days. And that was just because I wasn't getting any sleep. That cortisol, my goodness. And then, of course, I went to the baby shower, had a fabulous time with Sean and her family and all gorgeous friends. And Joe was there as well, daddy to be. So baby's not here yet. I said baby was going to be here yesterday. Baby's not here yet. So I missed out on that bet. Did I say bet? We didn't put money on it, really. Did we ever? We didn't put money on it, really. Moving swiftly on. So I had a great week last week. And then sadly, the fibromyalgia flare up. And I'm starting to feel a bit better. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% myself yet. That's the words I'm looking for, isn't it? But I'm getting there. But let me show you one thing that I have got. Hey Here I have my Sibio KS3 continuous ketones monitor. So you guys know I'm part of the keto low carb carnivore community. In fact, I was just spent some time with George from Good Enough For You and Thomas from Target Prime Rib. I was just chatting to those before I started recording this. I really should put this back on, but I'll do it in a minute. And I was saying to them the fact that I'm starting to feel a little better from my fibromyalgia, but I've got this monitor in place. And the reason why I've got this is from Sibio, and it's a 14-day monitor, and you get 2 of them. I'm affiliated with them at the moment. So if you're interested, you can get a 10% discount. I think it's currently retailing at £78. But the main reason why I wanted to do this is, I know that I am fat adapted. So we know that I'm part of the keto community. In fact, George tells me that because 90% of my plate is actually meat and fish and animal fats, and then probably 10% is green veg, I'm a hyper carnivore. So I was like, well, hyper anything sounds great, doesn't it? Unless it's a hypochondriac. But no, moving swiftly on. Hyper something sounds great. I'm a hyper carnivore. What does that actually mean in terms of my ketones? And what does it mean when I have a fibromyalgia flare up? So that's why I'm wearing this. Now, it's sad that I received it on Wednesday. I received my ketone sensor on Wednesday, and I fitted it on Wednesday, and you have to wait for an hour for the first readings to come through. But remember, I was still very unwell on Wednesday. So then I went to bed. By the time I got to bed, somehow I managed to dislodge, and it wasn't loose, not by any stretch of the, imagination. It wasn't loose at all, but it was somehow dislodged, and so it wasn't picking up the sensor. So I was speaking to Sibio, and they told me to replace it with the second one that was in there. And hopefully they're going to send me a replacement for the 14-day one. So I will let you know how I get on with that. But then earlier on, I was showing people on my live how I actually got this one fitted. So I'll probably do a clip from that, and I'll show you that tomorrow. Okay, gotta be careful about how I put my clothes back on because I don't want to dislodge it again. Okay, right. She's getting dressed again. Okay, so I put my clothes back on. Let me tell you about the app. So I have the app from Sibio CKM. That I've got the KS3, and I have the app. Now, can you see on there? It's showing that my current gauge is 0.7 mmol/L. For me, that seems really low. And the reason why it seems really low is because I have not had any complex carbs since that little bit of garlic flatbread that I had on Saturday for the baby shower. That was 7 days ago. Yes, I have green veg. Every day I have either green pepper, baby spinach, courgette, zucchini, edamame, but that's more fiber rich than carbohydrate rich. So that shouldn't be making this spike. So I was expecting to see this, my first reading, be at about 3, maybe 3.4, maybe closer to 5. Because yesterday I ate, oh my goodness, it was incredible. I ate a pork loin shank, chewing on the bone. I ate all the skin as well. I rendered the skin down. And I ate that with a tuna salad. Go figure. But you know what I'm like. I do my 1 meal a day, 1,400 calories, and it normally has about 140 to 150 grams of protein. So with all of that fat that I had yesterday as well, I was definitely expecting it to see more fat adaptation. Because that's how I live with me being on the keto diets and the carnivore. Then I'm fat adapted. I use ketones as energy. So I use fat as energy and ketones come out of my system. But I was chatting away with Thomas from Target Prime Rib and George from Good Enough For You. I was chatting with those earlier and he was explaining about the monitor and the reading. Oh, it's gone up to 0.8 now. Okay, so I was explaining that to them a moment ago. And George says, well, do you know what that's all about? It's cortisol. So I'm just coming out of a fibromyalgia flare-up, you know, where my body was under duress. I've just been explaining about the pins and needles. That started to go now in my fingers and my toes, but I've still got a terrible attack of it in my thigh that feels like I've got somebody lighting my thigh on fire with, you know, with a cigarette lighter. I know it, and that would put you under some sort of stress, wouldn't it? So there comes the cortisol. Also, remember, I barely slept last week because I didn't have Colin's mask. The mask hadn't come through yet, so the cortisol would have been really high. Well, George was explaining to Thomas and I that your body, it goes back to our early, you know, primitive man and the genetics that we have. But there's such a thing called gluconeogenesis. Have I said that right, George? And what he explained was, as primitive man, we'd be there hiding in our caves. And let's say a saber-toothed tiger had just made its way over, you know, it's close by, is about to attack. Or the neighbours are about to invade our cave. What do? Our body goes into fight or flight mode. Well, it's fight or flight mode. That's where the cortisol comes in and the adrenaline, up that goes. And then the body, in response, goes into gluconeogenesis. It pumps out glucose into the bloodstream. So even if you're fat adapted, and of course we would have been back then, primitive man, all we were eating were, you know, what we could kill and what we could kill and what we could forage. So we were fat adapted back then as well. But when fight or flight, you needed that kick of glucose. So your body kicks it out. I think it comes from the liver. And that glucose then gets into your bloodstream, raises your blood glucose levels, and in turn brings down the blood ketone levels. So whilst my body has been in fight or flight mode this whole week, maybe in fact 2 weeks, I still have the cortisol raging through my body. So what does that mean? Well, what it definitely means, there's not a chance I'm having any of this. I mean, I wouldn't have had any anyway, although Cadbury's Whisper Bars are a thing of delight. But absolutely none of that. If I want to get back to being fat adapted, then no treats for Joe, no treats at all for me. I am going to get my body back into the metabolic health state that it needs to be in. So I'm going to stay away from any complex carbs. Obviously, I do that anyway, but no sugars. Not going to have any sugars because sugars aren't a complex carb. Let's say sugars are a simple carb, I think. There's something to do with the chemical, chemistry of it all. I don't know. I've got a monitor that tells me whether my blood has got ketones in it or not. And that's good enough for me. That's what I'm going to be tracking. I want it to help me improve my habits and improve my, you know, if I'm going to be going out for walks when it's cold, I need to be in the best physical health I can be. So I'm going to be using it to track that. I'm going to be using it to stay motivated and see the visible progress. Is the fact that my weight, that my ketones are going higher. Look, I'm now up to 0.9. Fabulous. If that's going higher, does that mean then that I'm able to go out and have a walk in the cold, but wrapped up? So I've got less chance of coming down with another fibromyalgia flare up, because that's what I want. Remember, I want to be out of this house. I definitely want to be out of this house. So that's why I've got my continuous ketone monitor. If you wanted something like this for whatever it is that you're doing, and for your metabolic health, if you want it, there's going to be a link in the description for a 10% discount. So I can't remember how much it costs. You will see that. You will see that in there. Follow the link. But I will keep you aware of what's going off with my stats. Maybe I'll post it throughout these next 14 days and show you how I'm performing. And you will see then that if I am going out, it's because I've got between 3 and 5 on here. So, wish me luck. Speaking of luck, I have lost some weight this week. Yay! The scales are moving. Remember, last Friday, I put 4.5 pounds on from not getting any sleep. Well, great news. That has actually come back off again. Yay! So I'm now at, let me just check. I forgot my my amounts. I am at 5.5 pound loss this week, which is 2.4 kilograms. And that means that in a total, I've lost 41 kilograms, and that's 91 pounds. So remember, because I put 4.5 pound on last week, so 5.5 pound, I'm back down to 91 pound loss. I am really, really pleased with that. I'm really, really pleased. And more importantly, I'm really pleased that now I've got this monitoring system. I can see how lack of sleep, how a fibromyalgia flare-up, and the foods that I'm eating, how that impacts my health. So, brilliant. That's brilliant, isn't it? Tell us about your non-scale victories. Put them in the links below, in the comments below. Tell us what you've been doing as your non-scale victories. Tell me about what you're doing for Halloween this weekend. Are you going out with the trick-or-treaters? Are you going to treat yourself to some treats? Or are you staying away from those tricksters? I don't know. Tell me how you handle your food. This is a great time to be alive. You know this. So until then, I will see you soon. Remember to subscribe if you've not already done so. And remember as well to tell me, I'll let you know how the kids find my scary makeup. Right, but until then, sleep well, slim down, and I'll see you next time.